The first quality that the Holy Prophet says is that my Khalifa, my Wasi, the leader after me, he needs to be the most knowledgeable person amongst you. The first quality that the Holy Prophet is saying, that he needs to be the most knowledgeable person amongst the people that are left after Rasulullah. The second quality, the Holy Prophet says that he needs to be brave and he needs to have courage. The third quality that the Holy Prophet is saying that my successor needs to have is he needs to be generous. He needs to give out of what Allah has given him in the way of Allah. So now we need to look at these qualities and we need to look at those people that are left after Rasulullah. And we need to decide that from all the ashab of Rasulullah, which person has these qualities and which person is qualified to be the Wasi of Rasulullah. The first quality is that he needs to be the most knowledgeable person of his time. He needs to be the most knowledgeable person of his time. And we clearly see this, that after Rasulullah, every single so-called successor of the Prophet, whether it is Hazrat Abu Bakr, or whether it is Hazrat Usman, or whether it is Hazrat Umar, they are at one point fallen down in front of the knowledge of Ali ibn Abi Talib. What does Hazrat Umar say? And he does not say this once, he does not say this twice, but we see that after Rasulullah, every single person who sat on the mimbar of Rasulullah, he says that if it was not for the knowledge of Ali, I would have perished. Every single successor that claimed the member of Rasulullah, you find that at one point in his life he said that if it was not for Ali, I would have perished, I would have finished. For it is the knowledge and the ilm of Imam Ali that they are alive. So it proves that from all those people that are left behind, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib is the most knowledgeable. The second thing, he needs to be the brave of his people. He needs to have courage. Now at this point there are many things that we cannot mention from the member. Because many of our friends, they think that we are doing tawheed of ashab. But the reality is that it is not our fault that their Buzurgs have run away from the wars in the time of Rasulullah. If it was because of us that they left Rasulullah, then you can say to us that it is our fault. But the Prophet of Islam is saying that if you want to find the quality of my successor, he needs to be brave, he needs to be ابرار, and he needs to be Haider, and there is no one other than Ali ibn Abi Talib. He needs to have courage. And Imam Ali in every single battle has shown the companions. And I don't understand that when they have seen all these qualities in Ali ibn Abi Talib, why did they decide to take the Khilafat? Because they should at least have one of the three qualities that the Prophet of Islam has mentioned. But Imam Ali ﷺ stayed quiet because it was the will of Rasulullah. The third thing and final thing, because we have a lot of reciters and I don't want to take much of your time. The third and final thing that the Prophet of Islam says that my Wasi, my successor, he is going to be the most generous from amongst you. He needs to physically be most generous from amongst you. Now that does not mean a title which he has taken from someone else. Because many of the companions in the time of Rasulullah had got given titles which they had not deserved. Now this is not a Sunni or a Shia opinion. Historians say that many of the people in time of Rasulullah that were very close to Rasulullah, they were the biggest liars of the time, but they were known as Sadiq and Amin. There were many people with the Prophet that did not even spend a penny from the money that they were given, but they were known as Al-Ghani. So the successor of the Prophet, he needs to be generous. He needs to be Ghani not by title but in character. He needs to be Ghani. In his character he needs to have generosity. He needs to give in the way